This is the RTR Fun Haver LT.
Wait. Okay, look. It's called the Fun Runner LT, not the Fun Haver LT. Okay? Mitchell, love you. Chill out with caffeine. It is the Fun Runner, everybody. It is called the Fun Runner LT, not Fun Haver. So, let's get back to the video.
It's a fully custom V8 swapped Bronco built by the team at RTR. It's got portal axles, 42-inch tires, 18 inches of suspension travel, and it starts at $250,000 before you even provide the base chassis. In this video, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know, what makes this build special, and how it actually compares to the Bronco DR, and how you can actually get one through Town & Country Ford as an authorized RTR dealer. So the first thing is, how did this whole thing even start? The first time I saw this truck, I pretty much picked up the phone and I called my contact at RTR. I said, I don't know whatever this is, but I want in. And I've always been impressed with the builds that they put out, but this one is a completely different level. They're calling it the Fun Haver LT, which stands for long travel, and it's really built for serious off-road performance with the kind of attention to detail that you usually only see on race trucks. And I knew right then and there that I wanted to help bring it to our customers. So who is RTR? If you're not familiar, or if you're living under a rock, RTR is quite a company. It's actually led by Vaughn Gittin Jr., a Formula Drift champion, and Lauren Healy, who's one of the most successful drivers in Ultra 4 off-road racing history. But together, they've built the RTR vehicles into a brand that blends motorsports level performance, but with actual real-world drivability. The Fun Haver off-road division is their latest focus, and the Fun Haver LT is the most extreme project that they've done so far. So what is the LT? Now, this thing starts as a 4-door Bronco chassis. Any trim level is good as long as it's not a Raptor. But from there, RTR replaces and modifies just about every single component. You're talking a fully custom long travel suspension system, a 7.3 Godzilla V8 with a 10-speed automatic transmission. You've got portal axles from 74 Weld, 42-inch Nitto Trail Grappler tires on Beadlock wheels. You have composite wide body panels, custom bumpers, lighting, and a whole lot more. It's really designed to perform in the most punishing off-road environments that there is, but it's still comfortable and refined enough that you could actually daily drive it or just use it for a casual trail day. The powertrain is really where I got focused and locked in on this truck. This truck runs on a 7.3-liter Godzilla V8. This is the same engine that Ford puts in their Super Duty trucks, making over 430 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. And it's paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission, but not just any 10-speed automatic transmission, the 10R80, which is the beefed-up version compared to the 10R60. Now, this setup gives you a serious torque down low and consistent power delivery at highway speeds because at the end of the day, you've got 10 gears. No matter what, you're always in the power band. But it's not just powerful, it's also durable. It's built to take abuse in high heat and high load environments. The suspension, you probably want to know some more details on that. And RTR isn't just throwing some parts at this truck. They've actually engineered a full suspension system around the portal axles. You're talking Fox 2.5 coilovers up front, Fox 3.0 bypass shocks in the rear, hydraulic bump stops, long A-arms and controlling arms. You have hydraulic steering rack. And you end up, all of this kind of totals up to about 18 inches of suspension travel, which puts this Bronco in the same category as dedicated race trucks. You got smooth at high speeds, controlled over rocks, and really it's designed to take in and soak up some massive hits. So I want to talk a little bit more about the portal axles and the ground clearance for a second, because that's one of the most misunderstood things out there on these kinds of trucks. The portal axles are actually sourced from 74 Weld, and they are not mass market parts. They're very expensive if you buy them a la carte. But they're actually machined in small batches for race trucks and other high-end builds. But these portals actually give you extra ground clearance at the wheel hub without changing the suspension geometry. That means you can clear bigger rocks, deeper ruts, and sand without lifting the center of gravity too high. And they also multiply the torque at the wheels because there's a gear reduction built in them, which actually helps you for low speed crawling or just accelerating really, really fast. Let's talk a little bit more about the wheels, the tires, the width, and the street legality, because that's a big one. This thing actually rides on 42-inch Nitto Trail Grapplers, and they're mounted on RTR Beadlock wheels, which are technically not DOT approved, but either way, they're all tucked away underneath the wide body composite fenders. But there's a catch. It's too wide to meet DOT specs in all 50 states. And so RTR builds this thing for off-road use only. That's kind of what they are claiming. Now, it hasn't been crash test rated, and there are no adaptive safety features like Blue Cruise or lane centering or any of that kind of stuff, because it's all custom from the ground up. And you're going to want to check with your local laws before you actually drive this thing on the road. And with that said, it actually drives surprisingly well, according to Vaughn and Lauren. Now, the long travel suspension system and the hydraulic steering, it actually helps keep the vehicle planted while easy to handle even at speeds. The bodywork and lighting. All of the exterior panels are custom molded composite. That includes the front and the rear fenders, the hood, quarter panels, and a whole lot more. And it's all built for clearance, weight savings, and durability. The lighting is all Rigid Industries, cube lights up front, a full-width roof-mounted light bar, and rear auxiliary lighting. The bumpers are steel, high-clearance design, which are actually perfect for off-road use and winch mounting. Now let's talk a little bit about the interior, because everything is turned over on this vehicle. Everything's custom, because on the inside, the Funhaver LT actually keeps most of the factory Bronco layout, but it adds a few key upgrades. Number one, optional bucket seats with racing harness slots. So that way you can put a racing harness if you wanted to. RTR branded steering wheel. You have functional digital dash and infotainment system. And you also have an optional rear harness bar and bulkhead. That way you can legitimately bomb through the desert. It's not some stripped down race truck. You still get Apple CarPlay, climate control, and comfort that you'd expect in a premium vehicle. So the Funhaver LT versus the elephant in the room, the Bronco DR, built by Multimatic and Ford Motor Company, because this is a comparison that you're probably going to be getting, and I'll show you why in just a second. So let's talk about this comparison. Here's how the Funhaver LT stacks up against the Bronco DR. First up, the Funhaver LT runs a 7.3-liter Godzilla V8, pushing out around 430 horsepower. The Bronco DR, on the other hand, uses a small little 5-liter Coyote V8, and while Ford hasn't released the official numbers, it's estimated to be around 400 horsepower. Now, the Funhaver LT comes with 42-inch Nitto Trail Grappler tires. That's a massive upgrade over the 37-inch BF Goodrich KR3s that you find on the Bronco DR. And in terms of full suspension travel, the Funhaver LT gets about 18 inches in the front and the rear compared to the Bronco DR, which is good for 15.8 inches in the front and 17.4 inches in the rear. Interior-wise, the Funhaver LT keeps a lot of the factory Bronco feel. I mean, it's still got the 4 full seats, the optional racing harness, and you still get modern comforts like the digital dash, the climate control, and the Apple CarPlay that we talked about a second ago. But the Bronco DR is purely a race truck. It's single row only, 2 seats, stripped down, just a full row cage, and no frills. So if you want a family and a vehicle that you can bomb through the desert, you really have to go with the RTR if that's something you're wanting to do. Neither one of these are technically street legal. They're both considered for off-road use only, but the Funhaver LT is designed to be a little bit more livable if you're going to be cruising the trail all day long. And since the RTR starts life as a normal Bronco, it gets a VIN number, so you can technically register the vehicle with your state if your state will allow it. The Bronco DR only comes with a serial number and not a VIN number, so it's not even possible to try and register it for the road. As far as the price is concerned, though, the Funhaver LT starts around $250,000, not including the cost of the chassis. And I know what you're thinking, that's insane. It is. It's a lot of money, But if you realize what you're getting and you actually part everything out, you realize it's just a lot of money to be going through the desert bombing in a race truck. But let's add into the $250, you also have to pay for the chassis. And if you factor in around $40,000 for a base four-door chassis, that actually brings the pricing nearly identical to the Bronco DR, which is a turnkey build starting at $295,000. And finally, let's talk about availability, because RTR is only planning on building a few of these Fun Haver LTs every single year. They're completely custom, while the Bronco DR had a limited run of just 50 units in 2023. Now, they're both impressive builds. The DR is purpose-built for racing. The Fun Haver LT gives you more capability, but with actually more comfort and more customization and more room. So how exclusive is this particular build? RTR doesn't put a hard cap on these builds, but they are doing just a few of them per year, and they're hand-built in their brand new facility in New Mexico, right alongside their Ultra 4 competition vehicles. That's really cool. Now, every single customer who is interested in buying one of these will actually end up working directly with Vaughn or Lauren to make sure that this build actually fits their needs, their suspension, the tuning, the tire choice, paint, and really just to make sure you can actually handle a vehicle of this caliber. Now let's talk about cost and ordering. The build starts at around $250,000, as we've already mentioned, not including that Bronco chassis. And you can supply your own four-door Bronco as long as you have one and it is not a Raptor version. Or we can actually help you find one through Town & Country Ford at employee pricing. And as an authorized RTR dealer, we'll work directly with RTR to coordinate the build, keeping you updated, and we can handle the service for you after the delivery. So why Town & Country Ford? We've worked closely with RTR for years. I've met Vaughn multiple times, great dude, as well as some of the other key leaders inside of the company, and we are proud to be one of their authorized dealers. We're also on track to become one of the very first authorized servicing dealers for the Fun Haver LT. Now, this order is going to be handled like white glove style by RTR themselves, but we can actually help you supply the chassis and take care of any service work when the vehicle is actually completed. And if you reach out to RTR after watching this video, let them know that Mitchell Watts from TC Customs sent you. This truck isn't for everybody, but if you're looking for one of the most capable, best engineered Broncos ever built, and you want something that you'll never see parked next to you at the trailhead, this is it. If you have any follow-up questions or want to talk about getting one, click on the link down in the description. I'm Mitchell Watts, and thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.